talk show podcast station, and we're bringing you daily health and information, where daily health is viewed as an ever-changing reality. Welcome, this is Daily Health. All information and resources are based on the opinions of the host, unless otherwise noted. All information is intended to motivate, encourage, and inspire positive change and a healthier lifestyle. Now, this podcast contains some quotations, images, and excerpts from copyrighted material. These uses fall well within the copyright doctrine of fair use. Fair use refers to the right to reproduce, use, and share. Welcome to all my new listeners and all of my day ones. Welcome, this is your daily health and information. I'm your host, Tony Williams, and today we are talking about the FDA-approved treatment for COVID-19. So, if you are unaware of this, the FDA has approved treatment for COVID-19, and this is pretty much what you need to know about Remdesivir. It is the first approved treatment. Okay, so with COVID going pretty much bananas still, and the numbers are increasing steadily every day with everything else we have going on, we need to know a few things about this medication, because we don't want anyone to be without the information that they need to make a decision on whether or not to take this treatment. So the first question that I've been asked about this is, what are the side effects? Is it really FDA approved? Is it really going to help? Are there any other names for it? Is there any other uses for it? Well, studies have shown that the antiviral medication can reduce recovery time for people who are hospitalized with COVID-19. But of course, questions still persist about how effective it really is, and what's the downside to it. Now, a study found that Remdesivir can cut COVID-19 recovery time to a minimum of 10 days, compared with 15 days for subjects who took a placebo. Now, on October 22nd, Veklury, which is the brand name for Remdesivir, became the first medication approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for the treatment of COVID-19 in hospitalized patients. So the FDA gave emergency use authorization for the medication back in May, a step that allowed physicians to utilize the drug before researchers had completed the rigorous and various testing. Now, that's according to the National Institute of Health. EUAs are issued when there is a reasonable belief that a medical product is going to be effective in treating a life-threatening illness. So after 3 major studies demonstrated that Remdesivir was both safe and effective in shortening recovery time for people hospitalized with COVID, the FDA issued its approval. So the drug can now be openly prescribed by healthcare providers for patients who are hospitalized with COVID-19 infection. So it begs the question, what about those who have COVID that are not hospitalized? Which is an excellent question. So we'll dig a little bit further into this. Now, here's what you need to know about why the FDA approved it, who should take it, how it's administered, and what patients can expect well, in terms of results and potential side effects. So, the FDA gave its approval after analyzing data from 3 randomized controlled clinical trials that included patients hospitalized with mild to severe COVID-19. In the largest study, which was published in October in the New England Journal of Medicine and included 1,062 individuals, scientists found that participants given Remdesivir had their recovery shortened to a median of 10 days compared with 15 days for those who took a placebo. So they followed patients who were hospitalized with COVID and had lower respiratory tract infection. Says Dr. Klein, we definitely saw a benefit in time to recovery, which was defined as being ready to be discharged from the hospital or go home. Kind of the same thing. Now, data from this investigation also showed a trend toward reduced mortality, meaning the drug seemed to lower the number of deaths, but the numbers were not statistically significant. Patients requiring low-flow oxygen at baseline who received Remdesivir achieved a statistically significant 72% reduction in mortality at day 15 and a statistically significant 70% reduction in mortality at day 29. Okay, so there's numbers on that. So who should take Remdesivir? Well, doctors can prescribe it to adults and young patients aged 12 and up who are experiencing COVID-19 symptoms that are serious enough to require hospitalization. Patients must weigh at least 88 pounds, but doctors can request emergency use of the drug for younger and smaller patients while clinical trials are assessing its safety and effectiveness in that population. The FDA has identified hepatotoxicity, a term used to describe liver injury, as the major risk of Remdesivir use. This is why doctors monitor patients, as elevated liver enzymes can indicate liver damage. It may also create problems for patients with kidney issues. In some patients with low kidney filtration capacity, the drug could accumulate to levels which potentially could be harmful. So it's usually recommended that the medication not be given to patients with significantly decreased kidney function. Now, in addition, some people may experience hypersensitivity reactions related to how the drug is administered, which is administered through an IV. Now, this is delivering medication directly into a person's vein. In some patients, the drug can also produce an anaphylactic, which is a severe allergic response. Signs and symptoms to watch out for include hypotension, which is abnormally low blood pressure, tachycardia, a fast heart rate, bradycardia, a slow heart rate, dyspnea, difficulty breathing, wheezing, a rapid swelling beneath the skin, rash, nausea, vomiting, dysphoresis, which is unusual sweating, and shivering. So when should a patient receive Remdesivir? Well, Dr. Klein states that it will be prescribed when patients with COVID-19 are experiencing serious health problems, such as difficulty breathing. So it's got to be very serious in order to basically receive this medication. Other than that, you're not going to get this. And it is an injection, so this is something that has to be pretty much done in a hospital setting so patients can be watched and observed to make sure if anything happens, they can be helped in a timely fashion. So, what kind of drug is Remdesivir? Now, Gilead Sciences, the company that manufactures Remdesivir, originally began developing the drug in 2009 and explored its use as treatments for Ebola in 2014. While the medication did not meet efficiency benchmarks in Ebola trials, those tests did show that the drug was safe to use in humans. Now, Remdesivir is a nucleotide analog, RNA, polymerase inhibitor, meaning it works by blocking RNA polymerase, which is an enzyme that allows the virus's RNA, which is a molecule essential to various biological roles, to replicate. Now, it is classified as an antiviral because it really interferes with the novel ability to regenerate once it gets into cells. The cell is invaded by the coronavirus, which takes over the genetic system in the cell and starts replicating itself. But with Remdesivir, that duplicating process is disrupted because it affects the genetic reading of the virus's code. So now we know that. So how exactly is it administered? Okay, we know it's through an IV injection. But let's run through that one more time. Now, it is administered intravenously with an initial higher starting dose of 200 milligrams, given on day 1, followed by once daily maintenance doses of 100 milligrams. Now, that's infused over 30 to 120 minutes, starting on day 2 and continuing for a total recommended duration of 5 days. So you're taking this for 5 days straight. And it's completely understandable why this is done while you're hospitalized. Now, treatment can be extended up to 10 days if it isn't effective after the initial 5-day course. 10 days is the recommended duration for patients on a ventilator, which assists or replaces spontaneous breathing or extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, a life support machine that replaces the function of the heart and lungs. Now, it's not clear that extending the amount of time a patient is on Remdesivir confers any additional benefit. Plus, there is the potential risk of increased side effects. There is still a lot of uncertainty and as to what the studies are exactly saying here. So we know it's administered in the hospital. It's administered over the recommended time period. We know some of its effects. So what is the cost on this? So in June, there was a press release. Gilead Sciences announced that the price of Remdesivir, for private insurance companies in the United States would be $520 per vial, meaning a standard of 5-day course of treatment will cost about $3,120. Now, Gilead is charging a lower price of $390 per vial to the U.S. government. So for the people enrolled in government programs, a 5-day course of treatment would cost $2,340. In August, a multi-state coalition urged Gilead to lower its prices for the drug. Now, in another press release, the California Attorney General pointed out that the manufacturing cost of Remdesivir is between $1 and $12 and called the set price outrageous and unconscionable. which you can kind of understand that. If it only cost anywhere between 1 to 12 bucks to make this, why charge so much to the people you are saying that you want to help heal? It's just, that's strange. Not foreign, but strange nonetheless. So, how conclusive are the studies on this drug? Well, although the FDA has approved it, the American Association for the Advancement of Science reported in its journal Science in October that the degree of benefit from the drug is still uncertain. A large study from the World Health Organization found that the drug did not reduce mortality or shorten recovery times in hospitalized patients. Interesting. Now, Matthew Hines, MD, now he's a physician in Tucson, Arizona, who has treated COVID-19 patients with Remdesivir, says the more research may be needed to understand the drug's effectiveness. So, Remdesivir is not something that we can say is a curative therapy, Dr. Hines states. I would almost compare it to Tamiflu therapy for influenza. It reduces viral load and may reduce the length of the disease overall, and it seems to diminish the intensity of it, especially for those with a lot of issues. 2 or more health conditions that occur in the same person at the same time. So there's a lot that needs to be further checked into in order to truly say that this is really that safe and effective enough to go ahead and say, okay, I'll take this injection. So, some of the other side effects that I want to go over is from another source, and I just would like you all to know what these are. Now, first of all, as far as brand names, the brand name is Veklury. Now, it has another name, and the other name is GS 5734. So that way you are aware of that. Okay, so this is basically other information that you need to know. Now, we did discuss the side effects, but let's run through this from another source as well. So, Remdesivir may cause side effects. So, we have nausea, pain, bleeding, bruising of the skin, soreness or swelling near the place where the medication was injected, yellow eyes or skin, dark urine, or pain or discomfort in right upper stomach area. So these are some more that were not previously listed. And you can go to FDA, their website, and take a look, an in-depth look at all the information that they have on this. So if you are going to elect to take this medication, here's some information you need to know. Keep all appointments with your doctor and the laboratory. Your doctor will order certain lab tests to check your body's response to Remdesivir. Ask your pharmacist any questions you have about the injection. It is important for you to keep a written list of all the prescriptions and non-prescriptions, which is over-the-counter medicines, you are taking, as well as any products such as vitamins, minerals, or dietary supplements. You should bring that list with you each time you visit your doctor or if you are admitted into the hospital. It's also important to carry with you in case of emergencies, especially if you're going to be taking this medication. Now, most people are pretty much going to be hospitalized when they take this, so it's just information that needs to be, that we pretty much should do anyway, is keep a list of medications, so we have it on hand. Okay, so that has been your information on the FDA approved medication Remdesivir. So there's a lot to think about when considering this. There has been different perspectives on this, and I think we should watch for this and see how it goes, and just take our time when deciding to possibly take a medication like this. So everyone, please continue to wear your mask and continue to social distance just to be safe. The numbers are going up, so please, please take care of yourselves and all those that you love. Until next time, be well.
You have been listening to Daily Health on the On1 Radio Talk Show podcast station, where daily health is viewed as an ever-changing reality, which we know it is. If you would like to get in contact with On1 Radio Daily Health, you can email on1radiotalk@gmail.com. Place it to the attention, please,